Thank you for joining. This lesson will be on the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths is a circle that connects all 12 tones used in Western music. Today we will learn how to construct the circle of fifths, learn how to use the circle of fifths to identify the order of the key signatures, learn how to find the relative major and minor keys, and finally, how to find the primary chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5 for each key. How to construct the circle of fifths. To build the circle of fifths, we place all 12 note letter names around the circle like a clock. We find the note C at the top of the circle, where 12 would be on the clock face. Going up a perfect fifth from C, we reach G, which we would place one step to the right of the clock face. So we have C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, D, E, F, G, and here we have G. We carry on the clockwise around the circle, adding the next note up a perfect fifth. From G, we go up a perfect fifth and reach D, then A, then E, then B, F sharp, and finally C sharp, and we stop counting. These are all the keys with sharps in the key signature. To find the keys with flats, we go back to the top of the circle to the key of C. This time we go a perfect fifth and write the notes to the left of the circle. The note down a perfect fifth from C is F. So we have C, B, A, G, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we add the note F to the left of C on 11 of the clock face. We carry on counterclockwise, adding the next note a perfect fifth down. Going down a perfect fifth from F, we reach B flat, then E flat, then A flat, then D flat, and then G, and finally C flat. So let's talk about these now. At the bottom of the circle of fifths, we have C sharp and D flat, F sharp and G flat, and B and C flat. These are in the same locations as 5, 6, and 7 on the clock face. These are what we call enharmonic equivalents, which is a fancy way of saying they're the same sound but with different names. They are the same black keys on the piano. In total, we have 15 different key signatures but 12 tones used in Western music. Moving on, using the circle of fifths to find the key signatures and accidentals. The circle of fifths offers a handy way to remember the key signatures and how many accidentals are found in each key signature. As you go down on the right side of the clock, you will find key signatures with sharp keys in the key signature. As you go down the left side, you will find key signatures with the flats. We have created a sentence with the first letter of each word to represent each accidental and that we add for each key signature. We'll go on with that in just a little bit. Firstly, the top of the circle is C major. It is a key signature with 0 sharps and 0 flats. Going right from the key of C, The key with one sharp is G major. One sharp. And two sharps for the key of D. Two sharps. And so on. Three sharps. Four sharps. Five sharps. Six sharps. Seven sharps. And so the order of sharps is F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. B is the final sharp. And we remember them with this sentence. Fat clowns go dancing at every ball. And now let's take a look at the B, the flats. F has one flat, B flat has two flats, E flat has three flats, A flat has four flats, D flat has five flats, G flat has six flats, and C flat has seven flats. And here's the sentence that we use to remember. B is the first flat, E flat is the next, then A flat, then D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. And here's the sentence we use to remember them. Bald eagles are darn good champion flyers. That's the order of flats. Let's look at the circle of fifths. And let's look at just these letters that do not have these symbols next to them. These are called the accidentals. These letters do not have accidentals written next to them. So we'll find these letters. These letters with no accidentals written next to them are F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. Let's start with F and go to the right. This is the order of sharps. Fat clowns go dancing at every ball. And if we start with B, this letter here, and go to the left, this way, counterclockwise, this is the order of flats. Bald eagles are darn good champion flyers. This is a good way to use the circle of fifths to remember the key signatures. Let us use the circle of fifths now to find the relative major and minor keys. You can also use the circle of fifths to figure out the relative major and minor keys. To find the relative minor, you go to the right 3 steps. For example, if your key is C major, go to the right 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, and you arrive at A. The letter A means A minor. So you can write here C, the minor key is A minor. The relative minor of C is A minor. If you're at G major, the relative minor is E minor. 1, 2, 3. You arrive at E minor. The relative minor of G is E minor. If you are, let's go now to F major, and we use the same sequence. You count 1, 2, 3. So the minor of F is D minor. And you can use the same tool for all the rest of the keys. And it's vice versa if you are in a minor key and you want to find the relative major. Just go 3 steps to the left. 1, 2, 3, and you arrive at C major. That is its relative major. Let's do another example. To find the relative major of C minor, you go to the left 3 spaces. C, we start on C, you go 1, 2, 3, and you arrive at the letter E flat major. If you are in B minor, the relative major is D major, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. And finally, using the circle of fifths to find the primary chords. Remember, primary chords are the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant. The 1, the 4, and the 5. The keys on either side of your main key, 1 step to the right and 1 step to the left, will be the primary chords you need. Let's go to C major. So for C major, to find the subdominant, the F chord is to the right. That's the subdominant chord. And go back to your C and go to the right. And the G major is the dominant chord, or the 5 chord. You just need to go 1 step to the right. This pattern works for any key. For example, from E major, go 1 step to the left and you find A major, the 4 chord, the subdominant chord. And you go 1 step to the right for B major, that's the dominant chord, the 5 chord. And you can do the same thing for all of the keys. Let's do another example. For the key of D, D is the 1 chord. Go to the left, to the right of the D, and you will find G, the 4 chord, the subdominant chord. If you go from D to the left, A is the 5 chord, the dominant chord. And finally, these are the 4 ways to use the circle of fifths. Thank you for joining.